I got my cup of coffee. I got my glass of water. I'm ready to cast. Alright, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Zero Tolerance TV. ZT here, not Frank. And we are finally starting the round of 4. I don't know why I said finally. I guess there's been a 1-day delay, but that was actually before this video. So I don't know. It's not that I didn't even have the cast ready. I just didn't upload it. Literally, the video is in my folder called casts. It's labeled, and I just didn't upload it yesterday. So might be, if you were patiently waiting for the upload of that video, I'm sorry. Although I'm thinking it's not a big deal. This is going to be our first match in the round of 4. Okay, Reach is blue. Nalra is not. He is this orange color. And I guess I just spoiled who this is, but honestly, it's in the video, so there you go. Nalra, indeed Nalra right there. In the bottom right on Guillotine, and Reach up in the top right. So we are moving into a best of series. I believe it's a best of 5. No more group stage, and honestly, I'm kind of happy about that. I don't like best of 1 very much. Obviously, it seems like it was a lot more popular at this point. Thankfully, now we see a lot less best of 1. ASL, the first round is best of 1, and then in the round of 16, the first game is a best of 1, but after that, they get into best of 3s, even in the group stage, so I do appreciate that more, but yeah, we do have a best of series here. It's going to be a PvP, which, I don't know. It's not great. It's not the worst, though. I mean, if this were a Zerg series, I might just skip it. I'm not, like, I don't think I can handle 5 ZVZs in a row. That's just not okay. Some things you just don't do. And putting my poor viewers through 5 Zerg mirrors in a row, that's just not right. That's immoral. PvP though has some character, at least. You know, it's not just literally 2 units. I almost said 2 mutas, but that is basically it for the Zerg mirror, who gets more mutas and then wins. Or if you die to Zerglings. Zerglings are pretty good too. Excuse me. But PvP has some play to it. You can see a few different strategies. Obviously, Reavers are great. No one's denying that. But you don't have to go Reaver. And Reaver is quite weak to Psystorm, just because they're so slow. And the shuttle micro doesn't really work that well either, because shuttles are pretty squishy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Pretty vulnerable to psionic storms. Like an ornithopter flying through a dust storm on Arrakis. Shuttles don't do so well. On a totally random note, anyone who's seen the Dune movie, let me know if you feel this way. I liked it when I first saw it, and then the more I've been thinking about it, the less I've liked it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've actually talked about this before, so I won't go into it again, but yeah, I don't know. The movie did not grow on me. Aged like milk in my mind, so we'll see. I actually really like the older movie. It's insane, but it has some nice character to it. And the sci-fi miniseries is actually pretty good too. It's not perfect, but it's quite faithful. Anyway, do you see Nalra coming in here with a Zealot trying to get a kill. Reach is blue here, so he is the one with 3 Zealots, pushing back Nalra's 1. Ooh, and almost surrounding it, actually. They do get some damage on it. He's got a red leg now, but not quite able to kill it, so that Zealot will get out and regen its shields. But 5 Zealots to 1 right now. Reach with a pretty big Zealot lead, but Nalra at home has plenty of Zealots. here to keep himself alive, so he did actually build that second gateway and start pumping those zealots out. It's definitely an easy matchup to get run over, and zealots are quite strong. They, I mean, on micro, they're the best tier 1 unit for sure. With micro, you can kind of, you can definitely win with those Marines. I guess for a zealot versus 4-lings, which is technically like 2 supply versus 2 supply, 100 minerals. You do need to micro your zealot and it will still lose, but it'll kill some lings. But if you have a group of zealots, it gets way better for them. The real problem is when you get surrounded. Anyway, this is not a matchup where we will see zealot versus zerglings. It's going to be zealot versus zealots, in which case it's just all down to micro, and surface area for sure is very important, but that pullback micro is huge too. Scouting probe picked off. Really neat. Oh no, did it see that Citadel Veneer? If the Citadel was scouted, that's huge. That means Nalra is going to have a pretty big Dragoon lead if he builds those, and he knows it. He may also just go into... well, I guess he'll have a Dragoon lead anyway, even if you just go into Robo. But he'll definitely get detection if that's he did see it. Templar Archive on the way, so definitely going to be DTs from Reach. This is too early for High Templar. A couple goons here walking up, but if it, you know, we should see Nalra pull ahead in that goon count over time, and that is really the more important unit in this matchup. If you have a goon lead, the zealot disadvantage is not a big deal. And Reach will have a lot of zealots in this. Now we actually are going to see an engagement here, but right now Reach has more goons, so not quite kicking in yet is that advantage. And pretty good trade so far for Nalra's zealots, actually able to kill quite a few of Reach's. But Reach still with those 4 Dragoons. He is going to win this fight if it continues on for much longer. Almost all the zealots are dead. 2 left for Nalra, and that's it. Reach pulls his goons away. So trades the zealots for zealots. Pretty reasonable, and still has a pretty nice goon count. One of his goons almost dead there, and 2 more pop out for Nalra. I don't know if Reach can really continue this. That zealot is going to tank some damage, and that 1 goon is very close to being picked off, so Nalra, with really any micro at all, will be able to more or less even that unit count immediately. And at that point, I think the zealot is probably enough just to hold this. We also saw an observatory started for Nalra, so he's not just going to die to a DT. This is still, I mean, 6 goons here with the DT. I'm surprised that he's been able to keep up the Dragoon production as much as he has. DT tech is pretty gas heavy, and you would think that Nalra should be pulling ahead in that goon count. Part of it is a difference of production. Reach just started making Dragoons first. Did that DT die? I'm not sure if it died or not, but either way, being able to swat back a DT with absolutely no damage done is always really nice. Pretty big investment. That tech will be good later on. Like I said, Psystorm is still strong in this matchup because it's like, I mean, it's easily top 3 spells in the game. Psystorm is super good. Maybe not like Darkstorm good for Zerg, but I don't know. It might be the best spell. It's possible. If someone said that, I wouldn't call them a retard. I wouldn't do that anyway, because that would be mean. Forge here. Is that... I think that's Forge was spinning, actually, so upgrades on the way for Reach. But I think he's... I mean, his tech choice isn't working out. And, okay, Templar Archive actually on the way for Nalra now as well. He has taken a base, though. That's the difference here. If you have 2 gas, I think going for Storm, or even just making some Archons, like Archons are very good in PvP, is a lot more viable than this one base economy that Reach has right now. It's tough to go high Templar with 1 gas. 150 gas is a lot. So Nexus, about almost halfway done. Reach, however, is starting to attack here. I'm not sure if he can really kill Nalra, though. It's just going for DTs and getting nothing out of them is pretty painful. I'm not sure. Is there a Reaver on the way or something like that? If a Reaver pops out, this attack has to end. But here it comes. Reach coming in here. His first Zealot got on top of those units and then had to run. Reach is not checked for that base yet, so I don't think he actually knows it's there, but Nara kind of getting caught out. His goons are in a bad position. You definitely don't want them in front. One of them does get picked off, and then the units run away, but now with Nalra's DT popping out, I don't think Reach has mobile detection, so he's not going to be able to attack, and this expansion should be pretty safe. So we're going to move into a position where Nalra has an expansion and Reach doesn't, and Nalra's tech is equal, or even better. I mean, he's already got the rowboat done. Observatory is building right now for Reach, so he's going to get that detection soon, but the expansion is officially active, so he's definitely going to be behind economically. He needs to get something done with this. Having to add on a second cannon as well now, just to make sure he doesn't die to those DTs. I think that might be a little too cautious here. He's in a situation where that's not really the problem. I think he probably needs to just accept the risk of a DTs and maybe walk in like 4 DTs, just walking in and sniping that cannon. You don't actually need 4. I think you can probably do it with 3. Maybe 2, I don't know. I can't say if I ever actually just right-click my DTs on a cannon before, but it is definitely something you have to worry about if your army leaves the base, but Reach's army wasn't gone. We do have an engagement now. Nalra being a little aggressive and leaving his goons in front. He definitely needs to micro those back. Zealots on top of them, getting tons of damage, while his Zealots are only fighting the other Zealots of Reach. So this is definitely a good engagement for Reach. Nalra needs to get out of here. And now again with goons in the back getting picked off. This is pretty tough. He needs to definitely stabilize here instead of being aggressive. I'm really surprised that his army was even out there. Seems like the ideal situation for him is just to wait at home. He's got observers, so he could go check for the expansion of Reach. Even just sending a Zealot would have been fine. And as long as there is no expansion there, you really just don't have to worry in this game. You can kind of just wait and be safe. Looks like he's going to be building some cannons at the entrance there, which seems like a good plan. Static D is pretty strong. We have another engagement now. Zealots kind of getting surrounded a little bit, but they were doing a decent job of tanking for the Dragoons. Now pulling back again. The goons in the back, though, losing one there for free. Cannons aren't quite done yet, but if they finish, they're going to help a lot. It looks like Observer was picked off. Now, Nalra does have enough Zealots that they're going to be able to absorb all that damage, and the cannons are finishing now, so he does have a pretty stable place to fight from. It's going to be tough for Reach to push in here. Now, Reach is starting his own expansion, but I think it just got put up. Yeah, it just started now, and Nalra's expansion is already mining gas, so definitely a pretty good economic position for Nalra, but he has been throwing away a lot of Dragoons, so it might actually kind of even out in the end here. I imagine his army supply is actually lower, and it's definitely lower quality. A lot of Zealots in there. Does have an Archon, though, which is pretty strong. Archons are super powerful in this matchup. Just blasting. Interesting game. Nalra is being aggressive again. He's actually gotten behind Reach's army here, so if he wants, he can force this engagement. Archon out in the front, gets picked off so quickly. It did absorb a lot of damage. This is the dangerous part for Reach, though. These Zealots of Nalra are getting on top of his Dragoons, and in that sort of situation, Zealots are much better. Nice little surround there on that Dragoon. 4 Zealots pinned that boy in, and Dragoons are pretty stupid already, so they'd probably get pinned in by like 2 Zealots. 4 is definitely going to be enough. Pretty nice micro here from Reach. Good step backs. He's losing a lot of his Zealots though. He's basically just down to Goons, but only 2 Goons for Nalra still, so kind of working out. This micro looks like it should be able to carry the fight for Reach. Does lose a Dragoon there to those Zealots. Maybe a bit of a mess up there. And more Zealots run in, and they've actually got legs now, so they might be able to surround these Goons. 2 more get picked off. A couple Archons joining in the fight as well. Looks like Nalra is not particularly interested in Storm and is instead just making Archons. Archons now starting to pop up for Reach too though, so they're going to be a little more even on that front, but look at this army, it's just so small. Nalra is even running over to this expansion to check it here. A fresh Nexus producing probes is not going to be able to do too much for him. And it looks like it should get taken out, and I gotta say, Nalra is way ahead now. He's got the army lead and has now got a base lead as well. I really want to see him just go home, make sure he doesn't die. A nice little counterattack here from Reach, and actually there's no detection, no cannons there. So that Dark Templar is going to get a bunch of damage done. It might kill all the probes at this base. Yeah, look at that. Nalra does not notice he's losing his probes. He has started a base over in the bottom left, but that is a ton of damage he just took from that DT. So pretty painful for him. And this game is getting a little bit crazy. Storm on top of that DT. Looks like 1 Storm is actually not enough to kill a DT. I kind of expected that it would be. And the DT's running over to the High Templar. Storm or something. Oh my god, it's getting picked off. 1 High Templar, 2 High Templar. Oh, so painful for Nalra. 3 High Templar die. That 1 DT is an assassin. Reach has restarted that base in the meantime, but honestly, like, Nalra took so much econ damage over this base because he was, frankly, lazy about his cannon, that Reach might even be ahead at this point. The army is probably still in Nalra's favor, but he's just lost so many probes to that DT. Now, it looks like he may have actually transferred some over to that left base, so not as bad as I thought, actually. But even still, a lot of probes did die there. He has had double Nexus for a while, though, so he's been able to produce a lot more probes as well. So he might still be in a pretty good spot. Actually, oh, I see. Those are actually all the probes from the main. So yeah, he is basically on 1 base here. No mining is going to be happening at that natural since he lost the Nexus. Losing an Observer as well now, so I think Nalra might even be triggered into attacking here. He does have some side storms, so we'll see if that's enough to carry the fight. Does get a good storm on top of his opponent's Templar, able to kill 1 of Reach's. And it's kind of hard to tell whose Archons are whose, but it seems like Nalra's Archons are winning this fight. He's got 2 left here now, and none for Reach. 3 actually. I was pretty sure that was going to be 1 of Reach's Archons, but no, that was another of Nalra's. So he's got 3 Archons here. Pretty strong force. Really, he might want to back up, but I'm not even sure if he can anymore. His economy was just so ravaged by that attack. Another High Templar goes down. Doesn't look like that one had a storm still, but you always like to save those high-cost units. Long distance mining from that natural now. He has restarted the Nexus. It's probably mostly done at this point, but still a pretty big hiccup in his economy. Now, if Nalra is mined out, I imagine Reach is definitely mined out since he was on 1 base for longer. Probably had more probes there. So this is 1 base versus 1 base until that base finishes, and then Nalra will be up again. So ultimately, I think he's okay here. His army was big enough to get him through that huge probe loss. And losing the Nexus as well. Hopefully he learns his lesson about being lazy with his cannon. Just build it, man. Just build it. If he'd built a cannon in there earlier, because he was building the cannon, but if he'd built the cannon there, say, you know, when he made the Nexus or right after it finished, this game wouldn't be close. He would be so far ahead right now, this game would just be over. But As it is, it's still a little bit of a game. A nice storm, another nice storm on top of those units. Nothing dies, but you have to imagine those units are pretty bruised now. And Nalra actually has a good position on this natural here, so he might be able to go and take out the econ of Reach. Reach, understanding the threat, forces an engagement with his units, but look at all these Archons. They're going to chew through those Zealots so quickly. I don't know if Reach can really fight that. He does look like he had a bit of a Zealot advantage, but so what? Like 4 Archons? Another engagement here. More Zealots dying for Reach. There's even a DT mixed in. I do like that. Now though, just pulling back right now. Ooh, there's been a drop over at at Reach's natural. Looks like Zealots and DTs. Shuttle will get out with a couple units. Not sure what else is in there. Not sure that too much damage was done. I think a storm drop would have gotten a lot more value there. 2 storms could really just destroy that entire probe line if Reach is a little slow on moving them away. Or sometimes moving them away is what kills them off. You get that clumped up line of probes and just put 1 storm on top of it. Kills, 10, 12 probes with 1 storm. Can be pretty insane. But here we go. Now Ra is pushing into this base, and he's got a huge army. So there are some cannons here, but 2 of them already dead. The probes are being pulled to fight, and a nice storm on top of those probes. Even if this attack fails, it can't fail anymore. Oh my god, this economy for Reach is just non-existent now. This is his only mining base, and Reach taps out. So Nara defends the DTs, almost throws it with that lack of cannon as natural, but is able to clutch the game out. GG for him. And aren't you glad it's not a Zerg mirror? I mean, really. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game, and I hope you come back for the next one.